We got a very small video here, so just a few minutes long. We're going to play this tonight, and the reason that we're playing this is because this next step that we're fixing to take place on is this is showing you what our justification is and why we made our reasoning the way we did on taking this path. And this is the evidence that we will produce at any dispute that's filed against us. Everyone please be very quiet. No talking or questions during the video. We will not replay it, but we'll be glad to clarify anything, take a couple minutes and clarify at the end.
Please come up here.
We intentionally, we don't have a quorum. We're not swearing members, so we should get it part.
What you're attempting to do here is immoral, it's illegal, and it's criminal. You know it. Completely ignore the charter, and I'm not going to be a part of this. At least you're that. What I'm saying?
And leave your phone, because I just saw the screen. You're recording and you're removing a public recording from a public building.
You know they're illegal. That's what you said. Okay? Listen, you can't control the meeting. Look at this. It happens every time. We haven't had one for 5 months. It's all on you. So it's criminal what you're doing here. And I bid you good night.
Are you quitting? Yeah. Are you quitting, John? He won't get through.
Okay, just to be clarified, this is take a minute here and talk about this for a moment. At the beginning of this, when Don first spoke about it, Megan explained to him that this was, we have to sign in the council members because we had no quorum. We didn't even have enough members to even have a meeting. So we had to swear in the members to do so. Don refused it, and he said he had wanted nothing to do with this, absolutely. And I took that as he's withdrawn from his thing, and we voted on this, and it passed and accepted that. I just want to make sure and have that clarified before we set this seat. Okay? All right. So we got
by failing to install the duly elected person, councilman for that seat,
Sir,
is wrong. You know it's
please have a
wrong.
seat.
Your attorney told you it was wrong. Everybody knows it's wrong.
Please
So
have a seat.
if that's what you are, and you're wrong, and you know it.
Please have a seat. Okay. Choosing the candidate for the vacant seat. We have the letter of interest that came in.
Anti-democratic, what you're doing here. A duly elected councilman.
We only have one interest that came in for the seat.
Duly elected.
And that was Rex Woods. And he is the new owner of the RV park over here, Shady Oaks. Is that correct? Let's make sure I said it correct. Okay. There's only one candidate for the seat, so I don't know if we really need to take a vote, but I'm guessing.
I'll make a motion.
I think we should.
Has he lived here for 6 months?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so there's
That's
two.
one question I have.
Yeah, we moved here in December.
Okay.
So there's all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, 3, unanimous. Rex, if you would, please come up here and have a seat, and we'll get you sworn in.
Does not make it right.
You gotta do it. I did ask him to come sit down. I didn't tell him to come sit down. It's my fault. So we want to do the swearing in him before we go to the next step.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Mr. Rex, if you'll let me come here. Okay. Raise your right hand. Okay. We're going to state your name. I, Rex Woods,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I will uphold and defend
and affirm that I will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida
of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida
and the ordinances of the town of Otter Creek, so help me God.
and the ordinance of the town of Otter Creek, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Hey guys, so we're coming right back at you with Madam Mayor's Adventures, and we want to wrap up the town hall meeting. What did you guys think? What do you think?
It was a nice, short, productive meeting.
It was. Now I did take some notes from the meeting, but the biggest thing is the vacant seat got filled, and apparently there was only one person that put in a letter of interest, and that was Rex Woods. Congratulations to him, and that's good things moving forward. I know a lot of people may not know who he is, but you will come to know who he is. He's a very quiet gentleman. He uses his head and listens, and he's a good guy. You guys will get to know him, and I'll let you form your own opinions, but we think he's a good guy and he's a good fit. There was a lot of things went on in the meeting. First of all, I believe there was, and I didn't catch it in the video, and maybe I'm misspeaking, but I believe that the face bandit came in, or the face covered guy, for lack of a better word, was in the meeting, and Zim needed to meet with him right there at the beginning of the meeting and talk to him outside. So I guess that was a thing about coming into a public building with your face covered. So I guess that got resolved. I don't know what came of that. So we'll just move on. I think Zim did an excellent job explaining the vacant seat and how it became vacant. I think he set the stage very well when he did the video, and he showed the video from the last meeting, and exactly just kind of to remind everybody the sequence of events that took place when he decided to walk off the meeting. The attorney said twice, "Don, does that mean you quit? Don, did you quit?" Silence. It sounds like he said, "and bid you a good evening," and that's it, and he walked out. That to me is a quit. Would you agree?
Yep.
So, I'm jumping around here a little bit, but there at the end, there was a lady that was speaking her 3 minutes. I think she went over to 3 minutes as they went back and forth a little bit with the board, but I'm not sure what her argument was with the dog situation. It's okay for dogs to run around the town, and the owners don't need to be responsible. Now, it's unfortunate that someone may have, in this case, if I heard it correctly, that someone may have shot the dog, but the dog lived. Now, there's not going to be an ordinance by the town condoning that behavior. That's not the proper course of action. If a dog is being a nuisance in the public, you call the dog catcher, they come in, they take care of it. Or you can go and knock on the owner's door if you know who it is and say, "Hey, your dog's out in the street. Can you please secure your animal?" There are other ways to handle that. Shooting the animal, we don't condone that. That's not the answer. There are other people in the town that have dogs that are nuisances. And one name, and I don't believe one name has ever been dropped. But I'm going to drop it. Donna's got a dog. I've dropped that name. You've heard his name. But also Richard, the maintenance guy, his dog will follow him around everywhere he goes. He can drive to rehearsals, that dog will follow him. And I had a situation in the campground where a tenant got bit by Richard's dog. And actually it went to court, and the court had to, the owner, and it wasn't Richard, it was Richard's son, who's next door, who's now in jail. I believe that's who that was. He got taken to court, and he was ordered to pay restitution for the gentleman that got bit in the calf. He had to have stitches, so he had to pay that bill. And plus he had to pay, I think, $150 fine or something they levied on him, plus court costs. So, that did happen, and that was that same dog, that white dog that follows Richard around. Well, it's a brown and white dog. Is that right? Brown and white.
Richard's dog
Yeah.
is the black dog.
The black dog. Okay,
The
he's
white
got a
dog
couple
that
of
follows
dogs.
Richard around is Don's dog.
Don's dog. Okay.
And then you got Susie's dogs that run all over the
Oh
place.
yeah, Susie's dogs. That's down there on North Otter Creek Drive. Her dogs are always laying in the road.
And you have Daniel Norman's house. There's always dogs running
Yeah.
around there.
And those look vicious, but I haven't seen those dogs actually do anything. But they're scary. Have you? Okay. So.
I've had them come after me.
Okay.
You
So
have the people that live across the street diagonally from Don, their dogs go after people too.
Yep,
I
they
mean,
do.
there's.
I forget some of these.
I
but-
don't forget because they've gone after me. So.
Yeah, they have, and we usually have those trash grabbers with us, but I mean you're going to break those trying to keep a dog at bay because they're kind of fragile. But at times we used to carry some dog spray around for these dogs.
Well, you have to carry something in that town.
Yeah, you do. There's a lot of dogs that are a nuisance, and not only that, none of these dogs' shot records, I can guarantee you, none of them are up to date. They may say they are, but they aren't. So they're not getting. If they were the type of pet owner that gives regular shots, then they would care more about these dogs and get them off the street because they can get hit by cars. No one lives that far from 24 that they can't get hit by a car.
I certainly hope they have a dog catcher come through there before the festival.
Yeah, that'd be good. Be a good day for the dog festival. Might be a dog festival. But yeah, I believe John Crook had a dog ran over in 24 when he was in the campground. So,
Oh yeah, because Lynette was crying about having her dog.
Yeah, so he got hit on 24. So no one
I probably
lives
shouldn't have said that word.
unalive. But most people, in fact, everyone in the town lives within a quarter mile of 24. It runs right through the middle of town. So it's very easy for a dog to get out, and they don't have to go very far in order to be in traffic. And the traffic on 24 is supposed to be 45 and 35 miles an hour, but that's never happens. They come flying in there from Cedar Key, and they go 60 all the way to the stop sign. And so that's what you get. You got 60-mile-an-hour cars. They can't stop. We've had a pedestrian that was hit and killed on a bicycle on 24. So that's a very dangerous road if you're not paying attention. And we know people don't pay attention. So that's our thought on the dogs. They definitely need to do something with the dogs. They have a dog almost crisis. There have been situations. Owners have gone to court over these dogs. So moving on. I also noticed that the prayer was missed. So we really think it was a cut and paste job, and prayer got copied over, but it wasn't implemented. I think it was an oversight either in the execution or I don't know. I can't speak to that. But we would have liked to have seen a prayer there, obviously. We'll move on. You have any thoughts about why the prayer got skipped?
I don't think any of them were interested in it in the first place.
Yeah, so we talked about dogs, the resolutions. So there was a lady in the public comments that was talking extensively about what is our money going to. Now Zim answered this, but sometimes he doesn't answer in the best, most affirmative way to get the point across. What your tax dollars in that town are paying for is supposed to be services that you're not yet getting. It's for the maintenance of the water. It's for treating the water. So you have several people on the payroll, so your taxes are paying their salaries. That's Belinda. That attorney is not cheap, so you're paying her salary. Richard's salary is being paid. Lonnie, who's the maintenance chemist, he's the one that comes and treats the water. He's being paid out of the town. So you have some significant bills there. And then you have all your members are being paid $100. Now that's not significant, but you have to include that because there's $500 a month every month. So that's what your taxes are covering. If you decide to have a town and you're going to be incorporated, then there's some things that you have to raise money for. And taxes alone in a small town of 100 people, and then people constantly complaining about the taxes going up, is not enough. So if the town can do something like this festival to raise some extra funds for the coffers, all that money goes into the town coffers, then in fact there should be a separate account set up just for that, and I'm sure Belinda will take care of that. That money will go right into coffers. It's not hidden, it's public information, and then it goes toward the bills, so that your taxes the next year don't have to be raised because you met your budget. If you keep overstepping your budget or blowing your budget, then the only option is to raise taxes. You can't have both. If you want an incorporated town, then you have to pay for it, and that's just as simple as that. And tax dollars alone in a small town of 100 people may not pay all the bills, especially when you have former mayors who have put the town in a liability. So you have a lot of money that's being wasted right out the door because you have lawsuits pending on you because you're not providing public documents, which if you're in an incorporated town, you must provide public documents. So there's a lot. So the lady that spoke to that saying, where's our money going to? Well, why don't you come to the meetings and you'll see what all the money's going to. It's going to all those salaries I just mentioned and these programs moving forward. So hopefully the festival raises some revenue for the town, and subsequent festivals will raise money for the town, and the town will be in a better financial position to where maybe they could, provide a splash pad for the kids or put basketball hoops back up. But right now they can't afford to do anything.
And what about services like code enforcement?
Yeah, there's still services that need to be done. You got code enforcement, which animal control. These things cost money. So when the town got separated,
Lord knows they need police because Levy County Sheriff ain't doing much.
Yeah, you need police. Absolutely, Levy County Sheriff. They're not following through on what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, what are your options when the county police won't even do what they're supposed to be doing? Hire your own police force. I don't know. I can imagine that's very expensive, but you could hire police on a part-time basis from another town.
I don't know how they'd ever have the money to provide those services.
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't either. And Madam Mayor, she said case on point. She doesn't really see any way that the town can raise enough money to provide police force. It's just real expensive. They're also paying for fire protection. Remember that deal you got with trading the brush truck that never got used to a closed fire department? She traded that for a couple years of fire protection. Well, that fire protection doesn't come cheap. I forget the exact number on that fire protection, but that's what your taxes are paying for is fire protection. You don't want fire protection? Then guess what you're going to get? Volunteer fire department comes. Guess when they come? Whenever they're done dinner, they'll make their way over there.
Have a volunteer fire department there.
Yeah. I mean, one might be dispatched from another town, but again, they're going to want to bill you. They're not going to do it for free. So, if you want services, you want to live in a town, in an incorporated town, it's been incorporated for a long time, then expect to pay into it to get it to fund the services required by the law. If you don't want to live in a town, if you lived 1 mile away from Otter Creek, you would be in the county, and you would get all of those services from the county for free, and you're not paying for it. So if the town were to unincorporate, you absolutely would not be paying city tax, and you would get service by the county. The county has to absorb that cost, and they include that in their budget. So they know, they budget all of that. Their budget's in the millions of dollars. So if Otter Creek, for example, was to ever become unincorporated, they realize, hey, we got another town we have to service with fire protection now because they're not paying. They're not a town. We got police. We have to cover them. So they would put it in their budget, and that over time could make the county taxes go up. But they can't just say, okay, we don't have Otter Creek anymore in our scope, so now we're going to raise taxes. It takes a lot to get taxes raised. It can take, and I don't think the town of Otter Creek is going to put enough of a strain on the county. I really don't. There's just not enough going on. But what it would do is you could get a police presence, because right now you don't have that. Those police only come out when Lynette calls. That's pretty much it. Or if you have an emergency and they come out. But Otter Creek is low on their ranking. Okay, if they have other calls, they're going to do those first. So if you want to be in a town, go move into a town. You want all those services? Go move to Chiefland, go move to Bronson. All of them are incorporated. They're sizable towns. People are paying enough taxes that they can provide these services. 100 people, not everybody's going to be paying. So, I mean, some people are below the threshold of a tax. So when that lady said, we're on a fixed income, well, if you're poverty, if you're only making $10,000 or $15,000 a year, you're not paying any tax anyway. So there's a homestead. So if your property's only valued at $50,000 and there's a married couple living there, you each get a $25,000 homestead deduction. You're taxed on the rest. So you're taxed on zero in this scenario. Therefore, you're not paying any tax. So if the town of Otter Creek raises its taxes, how's that affecting you? It's not. It's not. So it's all based on property value. So if you have no property value, you're not being taxed. So her argument kind of didn't hold water. So if you want to be in an incorporated town and you want to pay for these services, then you have to pay somehow. Wouldn't you rather have the festivals come and generate money for the town and avoid another tax increase next year or the year after that?
I ain't never even heard of that person anyway. So
Yeah, these people don't even live in the town. They come from outside and they start barking and they don't know what they're barking about. So I don't know this Heather person. I don't know if she lives in the town. I don't know if she's ever lived in the town. And I certainly don't think she owns property in the town to say anything about taxes or about dogs. So we'll move on. The festival, sounds like the festival's moving in the right direction. Sounds like Willis, thanks to you putting out, and that gentleman that came up at the end and put in his release of liability. Great that those guys are teaming up and getting some things done and helping Zim out. That's great. That's what it takes. It takes volunteers. Now, they don't live in the town and they volunteer. Wouldn't it be great to see the town people volunteer? Wouldn't that be great? And there'll be some. I know there'll be some. But you're not going to see all of them come out. You might see 10 or 20, and that'd be great. That's a good number. Let's start with that. But let's work towards getting 60 people to volunteer. You know, if more people share in the work, then there's not as much work to do. So, I have some interesting things to note. Who was in attendance at this meeting? Don came for his own self-interest to see if, that seat was going to get awarded to him or not. I don't think he was there for any other reason. But we'll give him we'll give him the pass, and we'll see if he shows up next month at that next month meeting. Let's see. We'll wait and see. Did Mary show up? Did Dan show up? Did Russ the Sus show up? Did Fuller show up? Did the Strawn family show up? No.
Stewart there?
Oh, did Stewart show up? Good catch. I missed writing his name down. He didn't show up. So how much? Ask yourself this. You don't have to listen to me. Ask yourself this question. If these people of this town that usually are involved when they're on the board, and they're not on the board anymore, where are they? Why do they not show up if they care for the town?
Say the same about Norma and Angela. They were there when they were getting paid to help or not help Mary. Whatever that was all about, where you had 3 people in that office getting paid to do nothing. Right. They were there then, but they don't come to meetings outside of that.
And they live there. Those are the people we're trying to reach. Those are the people we would like to have come to the town and say, hey, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Well, we can't do anything if you don't let them know. You got to let the board know. And you'll get an answer right away. It may not be a yes or a no, but it could be a we'll look into it. They might bat it over to the lawyer to see what's involved with that. And then, Belinda might have some ideas. I mean, that's how ideas start. You put something on the table, and then you talk about it amongst yourself. Queuing that up, I think Zim did a good job scheduling workshops. This is great. This is getting the board members involved, and it gives the community an opportunity to show up for its town. They can't interject, but they can attend. And I'm sure they'll be allowed to talk. Now, if it gets into a combative thing, they're just going to nip it. But as you know, anyone that comes into the town hall, it even happened in this meeting, people inject and they do a little quick verbiage during the meeting, and they kind of let that go. They let them say their piece, and sometimes they even respond to it. So it's a small meeting. it's a small town. You can get away with little things like that. So it's great that he's opening the town to workshops. We haven't, Therese didn't have a good return on opening. You know, we didn't have much involvement in the people coming to the workshops. Like Russ never came to
the. You had bad board members, but with good board members, that'll be different. Right,
with good board members, that'll be different. Now, Laura already stated that she may not be able to make this one or that one, and we'll see. Again, it's an opportunity afforded to her to come and make a difference. Let's see if she shows up. So her report card is still out there. We're still marking it with a pencil. So we'll see where she is come election time. And then the voters, it'll be up to you whether you want to keep her on the board if her name's on the ballot, or if you'd rather go with someone else who another name is on the ballot.
No, she's got a 2-year seat, so.
Oh, it might be a couple years then for her. But we'll see. We got plenty of time to look at her and to watch her and see what she does. Mandy Waters. That was the lady who spoke at the very end. She basically was doing her resume. She's up for clerk of courts for the Levy County, and the current clerk of courts is Danny Ship. He's been there a very long time, and I don't know if I don't know the whole story about Danny Ship. If he's retiring, he might be retiring, or are they looking to replace him? I don't really know. I know he's been there forever. Matt Brooks is the guy who will be running against Mandy Waters. There could be others for the clerk of courts. Do your homework on this when you go to vote for this. Matt Brooks, I'm not going to talk ill about him, but he has some things that he's trying to do. He's a board member. He's a current board member, so he's going to have a lot of people pushing him. But he's got a lot of enemies, too, that don't want to see him be clerk of courts because he'll be even more corrupt than what he is now in the county commissioner seat. So I've heard nothing but great things about Mandy Waters. I actually we had the opportunity to meet her husband. He came out. He's an electrician, and he came out and was working with the meter poles that we were installing, and we had some good conversations.
He's a lineman.
Oh, he's a lineman. Yeah, so he came out and I've had two poles put up. So he comes in and does that. We've also had transformer work done in the park. So we've seen him at least on one occasion. We had a conversation or two, and it was good. Now at the time, I don't think I knew who he was, but later it kind of clicked on me. Oh, that's her husband. So yes, he's a good guy. You know, I get a good report from him. And Mandy Waters, didn't she do the last year? Did she not do the?
She swore me in.
She swore you in. Yeah, she did the swearing in of the board members. So we've seen her before. So she's good people. I think she'll do good work for Levy County. And
that's who I'm voting for.
That's who we vote. That's who we're going to vote for. So, what did you think of the meeting? I thought it was a good meeting, and I think it's a positive vibe. And
it sounds like they have a good board, and all the drama should go away.
Yeah.
Now your big town drama is just going to be John and Lynette.
John and Lynette.
And all the drama will be out of the town hall building itself, and it'll just be over there on Otter Creek Ave.
Now, I like the video monitor that Zoom had put up in there. That was great. I was like, oh, look, they're live streaming something. I mean, they're connecting a phone to that TV. That's awesome. So that's good. They can replay, because when you replay a video,
have equipment that works, because they had that old TV hanging in there, and I took it down off the wall because it didn't do anything but hang there.
It was like a 200-pound TV too. It was a heavy one.
It was awful. So it's good to have good equipment in there that they're gonna use in the right way.
Yeah, it's great.
Everything's going in the right direction.
There is. And Mandy even commended the board. She says it's light years from the last time she was in there, with all the infighting that was going on and how much better it is now, moving in the right direction. Absolutely.
You see with those bad apples out how well it goes.
And as soon as you get the bad apples off the tree, the good ones can blossom. Let the light shine.
That's proof of prayers working right there.
Yeah, and the audience here, you guys have seen enough of Otter Creek to know who the bad apples are. You absolutely don't need me to tell you. You don't need Jeremy Hales to tell you. You don't need Willis to tell you. You can see for yourself who the bad actors are. And they show who they are time and time and time again. So you don't have to look at what listen to what someone is saying, but look at their trait. Look at what they've done and always done, and what they, when someone doesn't come to these workshops and they don't come to the meetings, they don't care. They absolutely don't care, or they would be there. Yes, you can miss one or two, but you should absolutely.
He cares about Lynette's court dates.
Yeah.
That's what he cares about.
He cares about Lynette's court dates, and that's important to him. He has some other agenda going on, and that's always the case with Russ the Sus. But hey, another good town hall meeting. We appreciate you joining us and getting our commentary, our Madam Mayor's inside knowledge of the town, and yeah, it's good. It's a big bread basket, and the breads are getting put in the bread basket, so it looks fun. It's exciting to watch, and we can't wait to get down there and congratulate Belinda and all the people on the board for doing what they're doing and serving the people, and that's what it's all about. It's about serving the people.
Yeah.
You have anything you'd like to add, Madam Mayor? I kind of ran over this meeting, but it kind of hit on some strong points that I'm very strong about. So.
All right.
You
good?
Good job. Okay. Lady, a few words. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next adventure.